Today on the Absolutely Geek Podcast, we have Luke from That's the Bruh. What's going on, bro? How are you, man?
Yo, what's up, homie? I've been watching your channel for a long period of time. Just want to say this and preface this that this man, I don't know where he's standing and where I'm at, but this guy's the main reason why I got into anime reactions, and I've
Oh,
told him
shit.
this already, but he's the main reason why I got into doing what I'm doing on YouTube now, and which is obviously anime reactions. So just
Right,
saw
I
what he was
appreciate
doing
it.
more or less than anybody else. I was just like, this is what I want to, I was just like, that's a motivation right there. I was like, yo, so.
Bro, I appreciate that, man. I
Yes,
appreciate that.
sir.
That's dope. We had ran across. Actually, it's so crazy. We were on the Cyber Hype doing our geek culture podcast over on Twitch, and one of our followers was like, "Yo, like you gotta raid That's the Bruh," and I was like,
Got him.
"Who's that?" They're like, "You gotta raid him." I was like, "All right." So we ended up doing that, and that's when people were like, "Oh yeah, it's a dance, blah blah," and you were like, "Yo, what?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What's going
Because
on?"
I'm very secluded in my like where I am. Like obviously with streaming Twitch, YouTube, like I don't know a lot of people in the anime reaction side or anything. Obviously
Mm,
I watched you, but when you rated me, I never knew what cyber hype was.
mm,
I know of you as Absolutely Geekd. So when
right,
people were saying like, and you were typing on that account as well,
right.
the cyber hype one, I was just like, I have ADHD. Chat's going crazy. I don't know what's going on. And then people are like, yo, that's him. That's him. I'm missing every mark of the word when people are saying that's him. I'm like,
Mm.
and then finally it caught my eye. I'm like, something twinkled in my eye. I'm like, yo. And then I was like, oh. And I was like, yo.
That's
So,
just that's it. That's wild, bro. I appreciate the kind words, man.
yeah.
They it was just dope. Like, and the thing that I was super shocked about was actually the zoom that you had on your stream. I was
Uh,
like, oh, I was like, what? You were actually the first person I've seen with that.
well, yeah. I mean, when went on YouTube, like, obviously, like, I'm in the just chatting section.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, that's where most any anime reaction places, like, they're in the just chatting section. So, I
Right,
don't want to just a stale camera just sitting there. Obviously,
right.
nice camera does a lot, but in YouTube videos, you can express yourself a lot more by whenever you say something impactful, zoom in, yada yada. On Twitch, I mean, it's not that hard. I actually just came up with my recommendations like would you like to do some Twitch effects? I'm like, yeah, sure. Of course I would love to do some Twitch effects. I clicked on it and like it helped, right? There's other ones that, that go crazy with static and stuff. I'm like, I'm not doing none of that. But I mean, I
Mm.
do zoom in on my videos. Every time I use something with that needs preface or emphasis, I'll just zoom in on my face. So sometimes it crashes my computer, or it freezes the
Oh
stream, but it's still a good
shit!
plugin. No matter how good a
Wow.
computer you have, that third-party OBS plugin is going to ravage your soul sometimes, and then you have to
What
restart.
what's the plugin called?
I can get you that link afterwards.
Bet,
I don't remember the top of my head.
bet.
I've had
Because
it
I
for
was
like a whole
like,
year.
oh, because I know Toshi, he just started using it because he just got a built computer,
Mm.
and he was like, I want to do this and that, because his previous computer just could not. He previously had a 15-inch MacBook Pro from 2012 that he was
Oh,
doing
word.
all of his stuff on, and he just he didn't want to buy a new computer or whatever, and it just got to the point where he was like I want to creatively do different stuff that this computer just is too old to do, and it really wasn't designed to do. So it was like,
Yeah.
so
Is your
now he was
MacBook
like,
necessarily like for editing regardless? Like editing like Sony Vegas and or like Adobe Premiere and whatnot? Like it's
um,
mainly just for editing purposes, no?
yeah. I mean, right now, like all my stuff, I do off of an iMac Pro. I do
Oh,
everything
okay.
off an iMac Pro, but
It depends on like the year, obviously. 2012 is
de-
like
depends on the year for sure. And I also think because he didn't have a partition for Windows, he wasn't running Windows for stream stuff because
yeah.
he didn't have the hard drive space, and he didn't have enough RAM to split between both OSs. There was a lot of situation there, but
Trust me, when the only reason I started doing, well, I did anime reactions on Twitch with my old PC, but in
mm,
order to even record and stream at the same time, like I needed an upgrade. Like I
mm,
had, and my computer was from like what, 2014. So the parts were way out of date and
mm.
things were just heating up, heating up, heating up. So in order for me to do any of that, I wanted to start recording and doing the reactions. I had to upgrade my processor, my motherboard, my RAM, and then yeah, and obviously that worked out. But 100%. You need to upgrade a bunch of stuff. Like obviously, well, yeah, you need to upgrade a bunch of stuff in order for anything to work. Even with my computer now, which is still, with good parts,
Right.
that zoom in stuff that you're talking about doesn't matter if it's a third party thing incorporated into something. Even though it's built for it, it will sometimes still crash my stuff. And I just hope every single time OBS updates, I'm just like, is it gonna fix it? And then I'm like, oh, it's
Right.
working and working. A week later, boom, just out of nowhere, zoom in, I freeze, and then my chat's like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like he just has to restart. I'm like, cool.
Oh my god, that's one of the things too. That so on when that happens, your stream is still on, right? You just have to turn back on
It's
OBS and click
on, the
stream.
bitrate goes to 0, and yeah, the bitrate goes to 0. The stream is like, I don't know what's happening on the other end. People just say my face is just frozen of whatever
Oh, chill.
frame it lasted on, and then I have to restart. But
Right.
I mean, I don't really mind restarting now because of I mean, we can get into that if you want to, but about like the bitrate stuff with Twitch, like imagine like, how like when you're affiliate or not partnered, when you start your stream, it's going to be a random thing, whether it's going to be stuck at 720p or
Right.
1080p, and then doesn't
Right.
have the quality issues.
Right.
Like that was always like the thing in the back of my head. Like that was the main reason I wanted to get to where I was, because that quality of change thing was the biggest issue with not being
Yeah.
partnered on Twitch, which is so annoying, bro. Like
Bruh.
having to start your stream and keep restarting it until you get those, because someone in, I don't know, man, India or somewhere that doesn't have good internet quality, like that, 5K or 5 down, 5 up,
Right.
like they can't, or not even that, they can't watch at
Right.
1080p, 720 stagnant, or they're going to be 45 to a minute behind in your stream. Just it's not
Yeah.
right. So now when my stream crashes, I don't care. But before it was just that mental, like I'm scared to do my zoom in stuff, because if I do it, I'm gonna crash. And if I restart, even though I have quality change now, if I restart in the next 10 seconds, boom, 1080, I have to keep restarting. So I know I just went on a little bit of a tangent, but
No, you're all good. So like with the Twitch, so did you start primarily doing like the reactions live and then you went to do VODs, or did you do like VODs? Cause for those that don't know, he has a reaction channel, duh. But you do stuff live on Twitch and then you post it like the
on
VOD
YouTube.
on YouTube, right? So like, was that always like how you were like, I'm gonna do it this way, or like what was the structure behind that for you?
No. So when I was doing YouTube reactions for probably like 6 to 7, 8 months, Dragon Ball Super,
Mm,
Seven Deadly Sins, and this was before I, took your inspiration from what you were doing on yours with like how do you do the transparent stuff with the subtitles. Before I didn't know any better, and I just put the screen right here and then just put an overlay of like the logo on top of it. And
mm,
I was, in my mind, I was like, oh, it's perfect. And then, copyright claim for audio, whatever. And now
mm,
obviously I don't get those anymore. But when I started doing that, started streaming on Twitch, I was just, the main reason I started streaming on Twitch was because I had nothing better to do. I was working 2 jobs, one in the morning, one at night, and I lost that job due to COVID.
mm,
And I was working at the airport, things were slow. And I had nothing better to do. So I was like, okay, I was supposed to move out in the next
mm.
2 months, lost my job, and my parents were like, all right, cool. I'm like, you're good. Like, try to, we're all in a pandemic now, so we have to ride.
Right.
Um, so I just started streaming on Twitch. I was like, okay, let me start streaming. And, I haven't done this in a long time. I was playing Valorant, right?
Mm,
Still with my old PC parts, and just dinged on me. I'm like, because after I would stream, I would get off around like 9 or 9:30 stop playing Valorant or playing whatever game I was playing. And I would record like 1 or 2 videos of anime, edit those, and be in bed by like 2 or 3 in the morning. And then I was
mm,
just like, why can't I just cut that out? But in order to do that, why can't I just stream on Twitch, record when I'm, streaming, and then when I need to make a video, record, and then
mm.
obviously end the recording, because I don't put the VOD up. I record while, when I need to make a video, it's record time, or.
Right.
And then yeah, I was just like, why can't I just do that? Upgraded my parts, had to get, like I said, CPU, all that jazz, CPU, RAM, motherboard, because it was an older PC. It was able to handle everything. First day that I did it, I was watching Black Clover, like some episode, and
Mm,
people were stoked for it, and I was happy for it too. And then it worked out. And obviously, things were, I had to work out some bugs and whatnot, but
right.
it was cool. Yeah, and then obviously now where I am now, I'm happy, but Yeah. It was not my first intention to do that, but in my mind, I was just like, I want to mix my YouTube and my stream together because it doesn't make much sense to post anime reactions on YouTube and then tell people, hey, you want to come chill with me over here? Because at the end of the day, if both your things aren't mixing well, like they can't just be polar opposites. They have to be like, you want to do anime reactions? It has to be some type of anime over on the other side of the spectrum, or they have no reason to click that link and go hang out with you unless your personality is golden.
Right.
Which is mine's whatever, but still, but yeah.
I mean, I've known I know that firsthand. Like when we do
Yeah.
the Cyber Hype, we have certain days. The Cyber Hype podcast is 2 days a week, and those 2 days are just geek culture topics, tech,
Mhm.
future tech, whatever, anime stuff, comic stuff,
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Like it's just kind of anything in that space. And those shows are they're trash when it comes to numbers, right? Like they're just not, because most of the people that follow me on YouTube follow me because of anime centric stuff.
Right.
So in that
Yeah.
space, it's like, all right, cool. So when we do like the live reads for like Solo or Tower of God, people are
Mm.
there. Like they're like, oh yes,
Yeah.
we're trying to be a part of that for sure. So I definitely understand what you mean by that.
There was I forgot who I don't know if you know. I saw on Twitter a post of another anime reactor. I believe his name is Rough Senpai. He
Mm.
said something that because he streams as well, and he said
Mm-hmm.
something in the regards that he had this many people in his stream at above, whatever number it was, and he was just happy that he didn't have to watch anime that day in order for him to get in those numbers because I can feel that as well. Like, some days like I'm watching a specific anime because I watch different animes every single week or
Mm-hmm.
every single day of the week, different schedule. Some days do better than others, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
obvious. And you want to get to the point where it's like you don't need to try to milk one portion of your content over anything else. But I mean, that kind of just draws back to just, one source of content, one source of content. Even if you're in a one source of content, if you're doing variety of that, people have to like pick and choose what they want. And
Right.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
kind of sucks. It really does.
It's definitely something that I noticed because like when I was doing Naruto reactions, you have people that love Naruto, and then you have
Mhm.
some of those people in that community don't like Seven Deadly Sins, or they don't like Demon Slayer, or they don't like. So it's one of those things too, where you may have a lot of people for a particular anime, and then when another anime comes out, like, oh, I really don't watch that show, or oh yeah, I'm with that show. So it's definitely interesting to see. How the communities, like what animes some people from certain communities still resonate with.
Yeah, and you learn that too. Like if you just have to test one upload and just see how it does, or
Hmm.
even, I usually do 3 episode rule, not only in regards to watching, but see how it
Right.
does on YouTube. Like
Hmm.
some people, like you can just see because I'm gonna keep it 100. When I was watching Black Clover, people were
Hmm.
there for my channel for Black Clover. They
For
were
sure.
immediately like tunnel vision that they want that, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
okay, if I keep watching Black Clover every single day, I'm going to get to the point where I don't have any more. So I have
Right.
to incorporate other shows, start
Right.
incorporating other shows, see what people like, you know what I'm saying? And now I watch like 8 different animes a week.
Right.
But at the end of the day, there's ones that are up here and there's ones that are down here. And I'm
For
just trying to
sure.
build those ones up. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Part 1, and people are just like, you have to get to Part 2 in order for people to like it. I'm like, bro, I'm in love with Part 1. I'm enjoying every piece of it, but just like YouTube's telling me, like, nah, I don't like this. Like, it's like below average. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? It's weird,
Right.
man. And in regards to that, like, when you're anime, I see a lot of anime reaction channels that start from like and go up here because
Hmm.
they're riding with a big anime that they never seen. I wish I never watched Naruto. I wish I never watched Bleach.
Right.
I wish I never watched AOT so I can watch it right now
Hmm.
and not say milk it, but like experience it and experience that growth that
Right.
right now what it can do for me. But I mean, I can't just fake it. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, is that Naruto Uzumaki? Like,
Yeah, bro. That's that. You know what's interesting with that is, I want to ask you this. So,
uh,
reading something. Do you ever read any mangas?
No, sir. My
Okay.
ADHD go crazy, and the only thing I can read is my mom's texts, Twitch chat, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay. So one of my best friends, Toshi, he hasn't been diagnosed, but I'm like, bro, you got ADHD for sure. Like, he can't sit still. Like, that's just not what he can do. Like, it's really hard for him to just be like, I'm just doing this. He's the type of person that will be like playing Xbox game, playing a mobile game at the same time.
Oh, hell no.
And watching an anime episode. Like, he can't just do one. Like, he just can't. So, but for whatever reason on the manga side, he can read it. So it's really strange. It's super, but he'll also have stuff playing in the background. Like he'll have something else, but he'll be zoned in. But with him, he was like, he read the webtoon for God of High School and then ended up watching God of High School afterwards and had like his own perspective. So I just didn't know if you read first and then watched, because I know some people feel like if you read something that you can't really react to it. So I didn't know if you've done that before, and if so, what was your thought on it? But
I have thoughts on that in regards to reading something first and then reacting to it. As long as, in my opinion, I don't read manga. I just, I stay away from spoilers. I don't watch openings until my chat tells me I'm good. Like, I want to have the full experience and the full, like, serotonin, like, right when it hits, like, boom,
Right.
I stay off of Instagram. I block words on Twitter. Like, I don't want to be spoiled with any regards of anything. Now, in reaction-based purposes, if you read it already, as long as you're upfront with reading it and then telling like, yo, because some people, I've seen other people, they read it and that they read it. They know, you see the things they're liking on Twitter, and then they'll just go ahead and just be like oh my God, like, bro, like, what happens? Like, it just has music now. But but I get where people are coming from. Don't get me wrong. They want to, obviously the manga they read 3 years ago is getting animated. I understand that. But in regards to that, like, people need to be more upfront with that. But for me, nah, I can't. I not only can I not pay attention, and my attention span is like 0 to none, I will lose focus on anything. I read a little bit of Soul Leveling. I will keep it up. I'll keep it a buck. That was when I was working at my second job, and I was just sitting on my ass at the airport, not doing anything as a new hire. And I was reading Soul Leveling. I don't know where I got up to. I think he got to some type of hell gate where he meets a girl for the first time, and they're just chatting it up, and she's crying, and I'm like, yo, can't wait for that to be animated, because then I can actually like fully ingest and fully enjoy it. But that's just not me. I can't read. I'm stupid.
Yeah, bro. Because I watched Attack on Titan up until the first half of season 3, and then when season 4 was announced, I was like, you know what, I should catch up and watch the second half of season 3. So I did that, and then when that was done, I was like, I want to read this. So I started to read it, and me and Toshi were doing live reads on that as well every month when it dropped. And when season 4 finally came out, I was like, look, guys, I've already read this. I'm looking at it now from how is this going to be, adapted to its anime counterpart. And I think for me, being in film and seeing like how, pacing is going to be, what the music tones are going to be like, what the voice acting is going to be like, how they're going to portray moments, how, like, those things for me, I was like, okay, this is more so what I'm excited about. But I did get people in the comments who were like, oh, well, how are you reacting to something that you've already read? And I'm like, you have reactions. It's just not the reactions you want. You want the surprise, which is fine. But the reason, and I even told them that, I was like, the reason for me to do it this way, one, I want to watch it animated. But two, like, your idea of how scenes are going to be are your like imagination of like, oh, this is going to be this way. But that may not even be interpreted the way you think it's supposed to be interpreted. And me and Toshi, when we were watching the anime, one of the things that we noticed was how we were reading Gabby was not what her personality actually was in the anime. So I was like, oh, this is interesting, because we thought she was going to sound a certain way when she didn't sound that way. And you could tell her tonality was a little different from what I was imagining reading it. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. But I just want to get your thoughts on that, because I think a lot of times people watch us to see the shock, the nut bust moments of like, oh shit, oh
Bro.
what? I get it.
They're waiting. They're waiting for the what's in the thumbnail. They're waiting for
For
that moment.
100%, 100%.
It is not our when it comes to you and saying like how you mentioned that you already reiterated or you said it already that you read it. I'm doing it for this, yada yada. It's not your job to say it 10 episodes down the line, like 4 or 5 weeks later, like, hey, I've already watched it, by the way. Like, like I know that because at the end of the day, YouTube recommends YouTube videos to people. They'll find your channel. And like the 10th episode, you're watching it and they'll be like, why people aren't, you'll never please anyone on YouTube. And I've learned that firsthand. I hate looking at my comment. I love looking at my comments, but I hate looking at my comments because obviously you're going to look at the bad ones more than you're going to look at the good ones. And people just, if you're not reacting to the same way they felt in their bed when they were 10 watching the same anime and you're watching it for the first time, if you don't give them the same satisfaction at 3 a.m. when they were watching it on their Xbox, they're going to get mad. They're going to get mad and they know how to type fast.
Yo, and you can tell by how you read it and it doesn't make any sense. You're like, okay, when did you write this, dude? Like, you're missing punctuation. This is a gigantic run-on sentence. What's going on? That's actually super funny. I had said that in one of my reactions as well a few times, that I think a lot of it was on Naruto, actually. I am critical of shows that I love. So, and I think people assume when you're critical of something, you don't like it.
No, you hate it, brother. You hate it. And you hate the person, the author, and you hate their mother. Like, you hate every part of it, brother.
I was like, what? I was like, guys, my favorite anime is Dragon Ball. Period. Is it the best written?
So you like
no.
So you like Goku more than Naruto is what you're saying?
100%. 100%. But it doesn't mean he's a better written character. It doesn't mean... You know what I'm saying? It's just really strange.
You're saying Naruto's trash.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that. I'm saying that Naruto, even though it's in my top 5, it's one of the worst animes of all time.
Trust me, brother. Like the whole I'm in love with Sasuke thing. Don't get me wrong. I love the show, but there's stigmas about it. I'm just like, it's just a show. It's just a shoujo about Naruto loving Sasuke at the end of the day, and they want to kiss each other, or he wants to kiss him, and he's like, no, please, I don't want none of that. That's what the show's about.
So real quick. So on like what animes did you like grow up on? Like what was like where were like the things you're like
Toonami was my favorite. Toonami, everything. I didn't know I was watching anime when I was like 12, 13 years old in middle school on Toonami. I just thought these were dope cartoons that I'm just like, damn, they upgraded from Courage the Cowardly Dog. So and then when Naruto ended on Toonami, like, they were just going through it. And then when Naruto just like suddenly dropped, I think it was in like a filler arc as well, even though I had no idea it was a filler arc. It had to have just been right after, spoilers, Naruto versus Sasuke, blah, 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 right. The Valley. And after that, I was just like, oh, show's over, apparently. I'm never going to have to deal with this again. And then when I got into high school, I started using the internet more. YouTube started being more of a thing in my life. I was just like, what the hell is a Shippuden? Like, I don't know what this is. Like, why did they change the name? And then why is he taller? Like, I didn't understand what was going on. And I still didn't. It took me a while to be like, oh, like it never ended. Toonami just was like, nah, I don't know why, but they were just like, nah, Bleach never stopped. And they just kept going with that on Toonami. I was just like, cool. So I grew up with a lot. But like I said, I knew what the internet was. But when Xbox 360 was prevalent and that Netflix hit the 360, boy, like when I got a TV in my room, like after 8 hours of Modern Warfare 2, just from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. just what's Kenichi, the Young Disciple, Sekirei, like I was just whatever's on that list or whatever I'm seeing, like I'm just burning through it. Like Death Note, I had no idea what that was, watched it all, and like I needed sleep, so I just got sleep, woke up, watched more. So Xbox 360, Netflix days, like when that was like when you can do watch parties, like your little Mies walked in and you start watching it, like that was just peak. That's where I ingested most of my stuff. Obviously, now I've watched more now, in
Right.
the past year that I've ever watched anime in my life. I watch anime every single day.
Right.
But that was peak, all that. What about you?
I mean, for me, it was honestly growing up. Because how old are you, by the way?
25.
Oh, yeah. So I'm almost 10 years older than you. So when I got in, it was really the only anime that was popping like that was Dragon Ball. Like that was kind
Mm,
of like Toonami was a thing, obviously, and you had Sailor Moon, you had Yu Yu Hakusho on there, you had Cowboy Bebop, you had Dragon Ball. I'm missing one, I know I am, but besides Dragon Ball, the other one that people didn't know was an anime was Pokemon. So when Pokemon was on, nobody knew that it was an anime. They were just like,
yeah.
oh, it's Pokemon. And Pokemon, even though it's linear, it's not necessarily the next episode follows the previous episode. Like sometimes they're
Nope.
like,
It's a
oh,
new
this is
journey.
exactly. So it's not super linear and like episodic that way. So the first episodic episode to episode was Dragon Ball, and I was like, this is dope. Like I had never
Hmm.
experienced that before. Yeah, but at that time, like anime wasn't cool to talk about. Like that wasn't like
Nope.
a thing. Like I was an athlete through my entire schooling. So I was an
Uh,
athlete. I did music, and I was a nerd when it came to like books and like science and math. And
sure,
so I
sure.
had like all these pockets of people that I was always around. But never did people talk about anime. That was never a
Yeah.
thing people talked about. It was corny to talk about. But come to find out later on, everybody was watching it, and I was like, "What?" Like, so Dragon Ball was it when I was growing up. That's kind of all that I really watched.
Yeah. I mean, same thing with me. Obviously, I'm when I was watching it, I didn't know how to. There was no merch you could buy. There was like, there was. I was like I said, I was in middle school, just getting to high school. Like that's when I was
Hmm.
really, really getting into it. You go
Right.
to the mall, you see Hot Topic there. That's like when AOT Tokyo Ghoul was getting popping, and they were just first AOT obviously, and then like you
Right.
just see the shirts and you're just like, I didn't even know what that was. I was like, what is that? And then obviously I watched. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Hmm.
But now you go into any store, like I don't know, let's take for example, Uniqlo, like from the mall, like they have drops and collabs with anime or manga stuff, and then like they sell merch. A lot of
Hmm.
places sell. I mean, Zoomies for Christ's sake, like they
Yeah.
sell like do Naruto and DBZ drops. I'm like, now it's more of a prevalent thing. Before, who am I supposed to talk to about this? I'm just supposed to talk to my online friends, or even just the alone in my room at 3 a.m. in the morning watching my dubbed my not so great dubbed 24 episode anime on Netflix. Um,
Bruh. Yeah. That. So because I'm the first thing I saw on Netflix that was anime was actually Claymore. So this is like
Oof.
2011, I think.
Hmm.
And I was
Tall ass
like,
girls.
oh my god! Well, it's crazy because me and Toshi, it's like right before we had left to Australia, but we had saw. He was like, "Yo, what's this?" And we're like, "What?" And I'm at his house, and we're like, "What the hell is a Claymore?" So we started watching it, and we were hooked. I was like, "Yo, this
Uh,
is fire!" I was like, "Yo, this is wild." And then it stopped, and I was like, "Hold on, where's the next season? Like, what's going on?" And like, they never did another season. You're just kind of like,
Yep.
"Oh my god!" And that was the first
Yep.
time I experienced a canceled anime. Was like, hold on, like, there's no more to this. Like, what do you mean? Like, the story isn't finished. Like, what's going on?
Yep. That's it. That's
Uh,
all you get, Chief. That's all they want you to have. Yeah,
that
bro.
ruined my
You don't
life.
you don't know. I mean, now you can just search the internet like what happened to this, or you go to MAL, then boom, everything's in your pocket.
Right.
Yeah, but before, bro, like I was lost. I was just a lost little child in the store with no mom. I didn't know what was going on.
Bruh. I think, okay, so you had you had Toonami. You said Netflix at that time started putting anime on. Um, so for you, like, what anime did you resonate the most with that you were just like, oh, this is like my shit. Like,
It had to have been Naruto from Tsunami,
mm,
but if I want to say like when I actually was like searching it up on the internet, um, like from Netflix, I would say, let's see. I mean, let me just reach into the back of my skull real fast. I was watching a lot, and I mean, when I think back to Netflix days, the one anime that comes to my mind is Clanade. because it had so many seasons and it's like over like 48, and it was like my first like romance type, I
Mm,
guess, army like anime, and I
hmm.
was just like, I have no idea how to feel right now because I'm hyped for it, but at the same time, it's making me very insecure. You know, like it was giving me weird feelings about this show because it's just like guy with 4 love interests. I'm like, how am I supposed to feel right now? I'm scared.
Right.
Um, but if I want to say like, yeah, Naruto obviously, DBZ obviously, first time seeing Goku transform Super Saiyan 3. I remember that moment on Toonami. It was airing at like 4 p.m. There was like a marathon all day. Saw it for
Hmm.
the first time. I was yelling. I was like, "What is happening?" It's taking 10 minutes for him to do it, but I'm
Right.
running around my couch. Um, but yeah, I would say probably like Clannad, Kenichi the Young Disciple, Sekirei, Death Note, like stuff that was just like on the face of Netflix when you booted it up. Just like, here, recommend for you. I'm like, all right, perfect. You're recommending it to me. It must be good. So probably stuff like that. And then, watching more was getting my first like computer is like, okay, now I'm just gonna sit here with my shirt off, just going ham, no
Right.
AC. Bleach, I watched it on Toonami, didn't remember anything about it, and then rewatched it again to give it like my full intake, and like was like, yo, this is tight.
Hmm.
OSTs are fire. Never knew I liked Japanese music until this.
Right.
You know,
So on Bleach,
like,
because like I think a lot of times, Bleach is a really strange one. I think community wise, because
mm,
you have like super diehards like Bleach is GOAT, right? And you have people that hold on to it's one of the big three. It's like, yeah, but like 15 years ago, sure, like that's dope. But you know, for you, because I know obviously the anime ends. Did you ever read the rest of Bleach at all?
no, it's coming back, and then
It is.
this year, next year, whatever. I know it's called Thousand Year Blood Work. I know that I know certain things about it, but nothing to the point where it's going to take away from my intake when I watch it. And
Mm.
I'm striving to keep it like that. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, don't get me wrong. Bleach ended. Bleach ended, and that shit's been dead in the water for so long. But it holds weight to the today. Just let's take for example, you're watching. I saw you posted yesterday. You're watching or early in the morning. For me, you're watching Yu Yu Hakusho for that
Right.
first episode, correct?
Right.
That I mean, don't get me wrong. Older anime, it's slow, yada yada. But what it does for what it is, like it's a beautiful show, and I mean, it's compare in my opinion, I can compare it to Bleach protagonists. Like they're all like level headed, like outgoing, like they want to get things done. Um, but that's a great show. I'm glad you're watching it. But Bleach still holds. OSTs, some of the best OSTs I've ever heard in my life. The openings are great. Has the worst fillers and the most fillers I've ever seen in my life. But I mean, I'm watching.
Does it have the most? I feel like Naruto might have the most fillers. I think.
Okay. So Naruto has the most in regards to the worst. Like those are like Naruto fillers are rancid. Like those things are just like out of context, boo boo. But I
Mm.
mean, I think you're right about that. But I mean, Bleach just has it in. I think it's like I last time I remember is like 3 seasons worth in a row of just nothing, and just finally caught up to the manga, or like
But you
finally
don't
like
like you
you were
don't
able.
like the Gon fillers. Those don't tickle your fancy. They're not like.
I don't know, man. Just like they're just I can't.
I
I
hated
like I
them.
said, my attention span sucks ass. And if I'm watching something and I deliberately know that it has nothing to do with the story, like I'm
Yeah.
losing interest. Like I need
Facts.
it to progress something. If I see one slapstick thing in that in that for like 5 or 6 minutes, I know that I'm watching a filler and I'm just resident sleeper. Like I can't. Like it just my brain is just like, nah, bro. Please close your eyes. Like I don't know. You know? Is
Yeah.
that I don't know that's just me.
No, I'm the same way. I think that's something that I remember when I was watching, when I started watching Boruto, and I
Mm,
was like, "Yo, does anybody know?" Because there was already episodes that were out when I started watching it, and people were like, "Oh, like I was like, "What?" I was like, Where's what are filler and what's not?" Like, and they're
everything.
like, "Oh, the writer said there's no filler." I was like, "The writer's not gonna tell you that there's filler in his episode. Like, they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, you don't have to watch this week. It's filler. Like, nobody's
Yeah,
going to do
yeah.
that. They're trying to sell a show." But then when I started reading Boruto, they're like the majority of the anime isn't in the manga. Like you're like there's characters that aren't even in the manga that are in the anime. So you're just kind of like, oh, what? Like, so it was one of those things that I was like, all right, well, do some of these fillers add more depth to some of the characters? Sure. But if you're looking at it from a perspective of is it necessary to push the story forward, is where I get irritated. I'm like, why are we spending? I think that was my gripe with. Did you ever watch ReZero?
Yes, I'm watching. Well, yeah, I'm watching ReZero right now, and I'm on episode, I believe, season 1 episode. I'm gonna be watching today, like 19 and 20. I'm at the whale thing.
Got you. So I won't say anything because I definitely we'll talk about that when you've caught up. We'll have another discussion on ReZero. I don't want to go into that. But Fire Force. Have you seen Fire Force?
I've watched season 1 and then watched 3 episodes into season 2.
Okay, so we'll hold off on that as well. But there's certain shows where I feel things could have been consolidated.
Sure.
So like in movies, I think a lot of people think that, oh, a movie shot and it's 2 hours long. But people don't realize that the actual like initial cut of the movie is probably closer to 3.5, 4 hours. And then they say, okay, let's cut out fat that we don't need, things that don't necessarily need to be there for the story to still make sense. So they can air it enough times to make money on it, right? So in animes, it's like, all right, did 8 of these episodes could have been 1 episode. Like there was stuff in Vinland Saga. You watched Vinland Saga, yeah?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. So Vinland Saga, I loved Vinland Saga.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Vinland Saga was super dope. But at that time, it came to the point of like, hold on, let me, somebody just popped in here. I need them to not be in here.
Yo.
Sorry. Hold on really quick. There we go. No, so with Vinland Saga, there was some stuff that I was not 100% on how some of the pacing was on some episodes. I was like, oh, like this could have been consolidated. And I think because of that, back to your point on how people react to certain things. They're like, oh, well, you should have reacted to it this way on this episode. This episode was one of the best written episodes of all time. And I'm like, guys, like, cool, but this episode didn't it was the episode where, spoilers by the way, guys, where that family gets ran through in that village. It's like an episode where you're meeting a family for the first time. You've never met this family before.
Orphan Small.
Right? I think so. Like
and then, like he basically like he's like, yo, bring him here, and then like they get ransacked in the village.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the whole village just kind of slaughtered. And
yes.
And people were like, oh my God, like how did you not react this way to this? I'm like, first of all, guys, like, I'm sorry. First and foremost, they're characters that I've never been introduced to at all in the story. At all. I have no connection to them. This family getting ran through like that in this village was no different to the previous villages that they ran through. I was like, it's not like this is the first time this has happened.
What are you talking about?
Right. It's like, this is like the first time that this has happened. Like, bro, this whole show is about ransacking people's villages, bro. Like, it's really crazy to me that people were like, yo, like, you didn't react to it this way. It's one of the best written episodes, blah, blah. It's like, bro, I had no emotional connections to these characters. Nothing really drastic changed from other people's stories that you saw of villages getting, raped and pillaged. So I'm very confused. Very confused on...
Sometimes, like, obviously there's language barriers. Sometimes people just don't understand how you're really feeling due to the fact, like, they don't understand your tone. I'm very Americanized with the way I talk. Humor, my humor, like, some people first languages aren't going to be English. So I know for a fact, people take things very, like, weirdly when they see you make it. They don't understand sarcasm. Some people across the world that don't have English as their first language have no idea what sarcasm is in the English tone. Like, I'll make a joke and they're just like, as if I'm attacking their family. Like, they just don't understand. I just did a I just watched Demon Slayer, the movie, and I mean,
Oh, the Mugen Train.
the Mugen Train for the first time. I waited for it to go digitally or June 22nd when it aired, and I loved it, but I didn't cry, and I, didn't. Sat there and watched it. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I watched Demon Slayer like wherever it aired 2 years ago, off camera, like eating on my in wherever it was airing Netflix on my bed back at my parents' house 2 years ago. And do I have any emotional ties with those characters now? Hell no. Tanjiro, okay, cool. You're just Deku with a sword. But now with the movie, I have more respect for Tanjiro as a character. I saw what he was doing. Spoilers, but the whole beheading himself over and over again, that was tight, and that made me have more of a resonance with that character. But when Rengoku, like when he passed, I didn't shed no one tear. And do you want to know why? Because they were shedding tears throughout the whole anime or throughout the whole movie over and over and over again. And I just got desensitized to it. I'm just like, I just don't have this emotional tie with these characters. And I just kept on getting comments like, that's not like you, like, I wish you were just more invested with the story, or like, I wish you were like, I'm like, is it because I didn't cry? Like, is it because I was making jokes? It's just like, it is what it is, like you might have bawled in that theater, in that AMC theater, like you might have just been going crazy with your friends, like tearing up, and you look to your left, you look to your right, all your friends are crying. That's how you ingested the anime. That's great. But me, I'm just like, I sat through it. I watched it with my chat. Oh, you shouldn't be watching it with your chat. You should have just been watching it by yourself. What, bro? Like, I'm going to enjoy it regardless, Oh, you missed this, you missed that. I'm like, no, I didn't, brother. Like, I looked back.
I think it's kind of wild that people want to tell you how you need to watch something to feel a certain way, when in reality, it's like we all react to stuff different. Right? Like, I think that's something that as fans, which is why reactions are what they are. The reactions are in some ways to validate how you feel about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I mean by that is, like, if I watch something on my phone, like, oh, this is hilarious, and then I show one of my friends, I'm like, yo, you got to check this out, right? That's basically what a reaction is. That's basically what a reaction is. I saw something on social media, and my friends are here like, yo, you got to watch this. And I show him it, and I'm watching him watching it, and I'm like, I want to know if he reacts the same way that I did, right?
Straight face, by the way, just straight face. He just doesn't react to it.
Right.
Like, what the
He's like, oh, that's whatever. I'm like, oh, you didn't find that funny, bro? I thought that was hilarious.
Hurt, bro. I'm gonna go.
Right. On. So I think, like, that's really what a reaction video is that interaction, right? So, but for me to be like, bro, what? Like, you didn't watch it right. Like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, you react to how whatever your life experiences allows you to, resonate with certain types of characters, certain moments, right? Like, I know friends that lost their parents young. So anytime there's a show or an anime that touches on that, it pulls heartstrings for them because they can resonate with that. And I think that's something that people tend to not really understand sometimes. Is they want you to be like, oh, well, you should have reacted like me. It's like, but I'm not you.
Bro. And don't get me wrong, like, I've seen your reactions. You like to digest. You like to talk about it you stop what you're doing and you talk and give your thought process out. I do the same thing. Sometimes it's over the dialogue, but it's just so if I don't want to miss what I'm watching, yada, yada. I don't know, man. People there's different reactors on YouTube. I feel like a lot of people have been there for a longer period of time. You've been there long, like on YouTube, and doing what you're doing longer than I have, because previously, before any of this, 2 years ago, I was doing Call of Duty content, and I switched over. I was just like, I can do this too. I like Dragon Ball. But yeah, so just there's people that just sit there, they go like ooh and ah, and barely even give you any context to anything that's happening on the screen, and people love that. They feed for it. They can eat it for dinner, and then they see me making a joke about this certain scene, they're just like, how dare you? Like, how dare you? You didn't, like, you're not doing it just how I watched the previous reactor do it, and I love that. You're not doing it like them, so you're hurting my feelings somehow. I don't know how, but I'm gonna write a comment about it, It's just I don't know, bro. People are weird, bro.
Yeah.
They wake up mad. Like they literally wake up mad, get up out of bed, they have trouble, and then they brush their teeth angry, and then they just like people just they just don't know how to rationally think. Because I'm gonna see that comment. I know at the end of the day
Right.
they're in the moment. I'm gonna see that comment, and I'm gonna be in that moment too. And when I clap back at you in the comments, not hurting, like I'm just trying to understand with my attitude though, but I'm just trying to understand like where you're coming from. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something? Can I ask you something
Yeah.
really fast?
Yeah.
You watched all of One Piece, right? Or
Yeah.
you watched
Yes.
One
Oh yeah.
Piece? Okay.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I
Oh
just
yes.
started watching One Piece. I
Mm-hmm.
just got done essentially where they're basically going to Little Garden
Okay.
very early on, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about the Usopp arc?
That's cool.
It was cool. A lot of people, when I watched it, said this is the most sleep arc. This was when my One Piece videos weren't doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but I'm loving the show. I'm like,
Right.
dude, this shit. I was talking shit about this show for years. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's about pirates. I ain't no Pirates of the
Facts.
Caribbean. I ain't about to see no
Facts.
Jack Sparrow, right?
Facts.
But it's not even about pirates at that point.
Right.
It's like when I'm watching the anime, it's like I'm watching a book. I'm reading a book somehow with my eyes and
Right.
with a like electrical monitor in front of me. But when we got to the Usopp arc, don't get me wrong, Usopp was annoying, but Kudo, bro, like Kudo is my favorite character in that
Mm-hmm.
show as it stands now. I love that character, and I still love him. He was so cool. The villain stuff out of the bag attack, like that thing was tight.
Mm-hmm.
And but still, people like after that arc, the views started going up. But like during that arc, when just like people were just like, I can't wait for you to get past this. I'm like, why, bro? This shit is tight. When he put out those little nails thing and he slit that guy's throat
Mm-hmm.
and that mansion, I was like, oh shit, like this is not like this is stepping it up. And then
Right.
Luffy as a protagonist, like, and that was everything was just so cool. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's what I'm saying too. Like, I can't please everybody, but like with the JoJo stuff right now, beginning of One Piece, beginning of JoJo's right now, people are just like, oh, I can't wait for you to get past this because I can't wait for you to support you then. Or like people are gonna support you when you get up to this. I'm like, but why? Like, I understand you're on like episode 800 or 900, 1,000 or One Piece, but like this is like, would I watch someone watch Dragon Ball for the first time? Probably. Dragon Ball was cool, but I mean, just I don't know. I just wish people would support. Leaving a like goes a long way, guys. Make sure to leave a like and a comment on this video.
Bro,
But
bro, real shit. Hold on, we gotta speak on this real quick because this is my biggest gripe for people that consume content, and this isn't to call out anybody specific. This is something that I do, and I just wish people would do the same. As a content creator, we also know the money spent on creating content, right? So anytime I watch somebody's video, regardless if I think the video is dope or not, if I spent time on the video, I hit a like. Period. Because that's currency for us. You know what I'm saying? Like that helps push algorithmically. Like there's a huge thing that ties into that, especially if you're getting the content for free. Like it costs you nothing to hit the like button. It's actually really strange to me. It's like, damn, like you couldn't just hit the like button. Like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like regardless if it was the dopest video, and it's so crazy where if they don't agree with you, they'll be quick to hit the dislike button with the quickness. Oh, you didn't like that? Dislike. You watched the whole video and you disliked it because of not agreeing with how I felt. It's so crazy. It could
be the last second too. It could be the
Facts.
last second of the video, and then it's like, oh wait, what did you say? Let me rewind that part out of the 15 minutes I watched, and they're like, what did you say about my favorite character or something? Nah, I don't like that at all. Never seeing you again. Or I'll probably watch the next reaction, but I'm gonna leave a dislike right here, right now. To give them the benefit of the doubt, though, like when I'm watching YouTube on the Roku TV, you know, what I'm saying, like when I'm eating dinner right here, I mean, I'm not gonna go, with my remote and go leave a like and try to find like, what I'm saying, like it's tedious, and I get
Fair
that.
enough.
It is tedious. But and by the way, people, if you're running ad blocker on your stuff, I mean, let's keep it 100p. Like, relax, turn it off, Big Chiefs. I mean, ad blocker was invented so you block out necessarily the things you don't want to see on other websites. YouTube is a different story because, like, imagine. I'm gonna keep it 100p. Imagine YouTube was a way to discontinue ad blocker on YouTube, I'm pretty sure all YouTubers' revenue would skyrocket, like a mass majority amount, because there's so many people ingesting YouTube, not only just from mobile, but from on their PC, even
Right.
on Twitch. Like ad blocker is a thing. I turned off ad blocker on every piece of platform that I ingest media on, just because. I mean, if I know it's hurting me, I know it's going to be hurting somebody else.
Facts.
Um, but yeah, man, just like ad blocker, leave a like, a comment. The only reason anyone else says any of these things is because it actually means something to us.
Facts. True.
And I know it gets redundant. I know it's just the same old you can do it in different ways. You can be funny about it. I throw in the middle of my video, just like stop my whole video, stop the reaction. Like, I know you ain't watching this without being subscribed. Like,
Right.
just add a little more flair into it, get them out of the zone. They're like, oh wait, I'm not subscribed. I don't know. People are lazy. I'm lazy, for fuck's sake. I am. I know I am.
I think all of us are.
Yeah, I'm not
I
doing
feel
what
like all
you're
of us are.
doing. I like you leave a like on every single video that you ingest. Like, sometimes I forget too, even though I want people to leave stuff on mine. But then you see it's like, your video is getting like 500 views, or like 6, 7, whatever the case may be, and it's like a 10% of those views are leaving likes. I'm just like, bro, why? Like, come on, man. Like, help me out.
It's so strange. It's actually a really strange thing to me. I'm like, damn, like people just, I think it's because people have access to just content whenever. They're just like, oh, like I'm entitled to content. It's like, bro, like people that are creating this content for you get paid based on reach, get paid based on watch time, watch duration. And the likes and comments, that pushes stuff further in the algorithm, so people can actually see more of that content, which in turn helps the creator create more content. Like, so it's just it's like this weird cycle that I think the viewer doesn't know how much. I don't know if they don't know, but they forget how important that aspect of the experience is for the person's content that they enjoy.
It's hard. It sucks too, because like it shouldn't be that much of a big thing to just, like, for a YouTuber, that is, that they need those likes. There should be another algorithmic way to get those videos like more prospering. Like, I shouldn't have to forcibly say for you to do something. It should be like an automatic thing behind closed doors saying like, yo, they watched it for this much time, it dings like an automatic like or whatever. It doesn't hurt that person at all, but obviously, like, if they watch the video for like 6 minutes, bruh, like there's something right here, whether it be like an informational video or it literally like a reaction thing. They're watching it, like they watch the video. Like, there should be just a, not benefit of the doubt, but just give us, it should just be an automatic thing. But like I said,
That'd be dope.
leaving that's that would be sick as fuck.
But YouTube doesn't seem to do like what the logical thing would be to do.
Oh no,
not for
they're
YouTube.
smoking crack.
Yeah,
smoking it, brother.
I was like, why? I think the biggest crazy change, like after the adpocalypse, was like the whole notification bell situation. Like, that was like, when it comes to software and interfaces, you want to try to remove as many clicks as possible. That's the concept behind good user interfaces, right? And user experience stuff on software, which is why Apple prospers so well, because their software is so simple. They're like, oh, I do this and it does that. So on YouTube, it's like, all right, well, you're going to subscribe. But not only do you have to subscribe, you have to hit the bell to let us know you want to be notified. But not only do you need to hit the bell, you then need to tell me how do you want it? Do you want it all videos? Do you want it some videos? Do you want every once in a while? Like, there's too many fucking steps. I'm like, bro.
And even if you do that, good luck. We're still
Facts.
probably not going to do it. Like,
Facts.
Even if you do all that, like, it's not even a signed
We'll
contract.
still think about it. We'll think about it.
Still think about it. Twitter does a good job of doing notifications. Like, if you have notifications on every time you tweet, like, boom, like all the big verified people, like, let's take, for example, Dream, the Minecraft streamer. He one of the biggest followings of Minecraft there is. The minute the first 10 seconds he tweets anything, 10K likes immediately. Like, it's gold. Like,
Wow.
These kids are rushing for gold. Like, they want to hear their philosopher just speak words about what he ate that day. and even Twitch has gotten better with noties here and there, but YouTube I would say like is like they're not good. They're not good with it, and obviously big platform, but I remember
I gotta
when.
talk to you about Twitch, bro. I gotta
Oh,
talk to you
okay,
about Twitch. I gotta
speak
talk to you about
facts,
Twitch. So,
please.
question: how do you
Ah,
do you feel that Twitch has a solid future?
yes, Twitch is never going anywhere. No matter we've seen at least not in the past, year we've seen one compare. Like I mean, YouTube gaming's a thing, yes, and it's thriving. But YouTube at the end of the day is a video platform. It is not made for streaming. It never will be that. Even though there's big creators on YouTube right now, but Twitch has just put their foot in the door and they're sitting and they're never gonna move them that doorway. Like unless some crazy shit happens that it make it unapplicable, like for anyone to even get to the site. Like no one's throwing up poggers anywhere else besides Twitch. People say that in their day-to-day lives now, and nothing is going away. Like people literally live through the streamers' lives on
Mm,
Twitch. Like the culture, the communities, everything like is what that's not moving to another platform ever.
mm.
Um, Obviously, you asked that question due to a reason. Do you have what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think Twitch has 2 years to figure it out. And the
Then
reason
what?
why I said then it's going to falter. So and here's and
Culture to what though?
here's my like to non-existence. So
Okay.
here's the reason why I say that is this. When stories first came out, it came out on what? It came out on Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Snapchat was
Okay.
the first thing that stories existed on, right? That's all Snapchat was stories. And Facebook they noticed immediately that is this a platform or is this a feature? They said, this is a feature. This isn't really like a solid platform building thing. So
Yes.
they implemented into Facebook. Instagram did the same thing. YouTube has stories. Twitter now has stories, right? Now, Snapchat started to evolve and do some other stuff, and they did a lot of stuff with AR and masks and stuff, so people can do cool filters and stuff on there. They really went heavy in doing like daily stories and stuff. So they started to innovate more in there because they were losing ridiculous amounts of user base because everybody was like, well, I don't need to leave Instagram now. I can just do the stories in Instagram, like,
Yep.
right? Twitch came out and it was smacking the live game. Okay, it's killing. It is live. That's where it's at. You can go live on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. To the point where it's like, all right, well, does Twitch still do streaming better than all these other platforms? Yes, I would agree 1,000%. Does Snapchat do stories better than any other platform? I think they do. I think their mask, their AR mask and stuff for filters and stuff is still better than Instagram's. That doesn't mean that it's the major player anymore, though. And I think in the space with YouTube, YouTube trumps Twitter. I mean, in Twitch because of search.
Yes. Okay. I get
Twitch's
what you're coming from.
searchability is terrible, which is why a lot of people
Dog
on
shit.
Twitch go to YouTube and build their following there and force them over to Twitch. They're like, yo, I do live streams here. You can come here. You can catch the VODs on YouTube. They build their audience on YouTube because people can find them.
Yep.
The searchability on Twitch is garbage. So it's like, all
Yeah.
right, well, so, and the crazy thing about that to me was like, all right, Amazon bought Twitch. Amazon itself has a really good search algorithm on its own platform. Why didn't they implement search better on their platform the same way that Google did when they bought YouTube and was like, all right, cool, we're going to implement our search tools that we have in Google and tagging and all that stuff into YouTube.
Mhm.
Cool. So I feel like in the space of Twitch, if they don't figure out a way to embed search and evolve their VOD platform, I do not see them outlasting YouTube. Google has all
Would
the
you
money.
would you think, you know how you go to just chatting or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you go to and you see like everyone's little thumbnail, like what they're doing, would you think it would be better or worse to actually be able to upload your own thumbnail to what you're streaming? You get what I'm saying? Like how YouTube does it, right?
Mm.
Like you can, would you like if you go to just chatting or whatever, you know, just see like a thumbnail that you know, would you think that would be
For
better?
that
Would you think
stream.
that would, yeah, for that stream, you could be like, okay, I'll upload this one for this one, you know?
Well, I think okay, so that's a great question. I think it could work. I think a lot of the search though comes into the fact of and maybe I'm not a gigantic Twitch a genius, by the way, but is there like, does your channel have tags? Like, do you have channel tags? Like,
For my,
for any of the Twitch channels, can you tag your channel for like topics or
yeah,
things that you
yes.
cover or
What categories,
categories,
like
right? But it
AMA, I put
right,
AMA, anime,
but you couldn't
IRL.
right, but that's for the actual stream, correct?
Yes.
Not for the actual channel.
Channel, okay. Channel tags, no. Like YouTube's, no.
Right. So
You're
you
just
can't be like, oh,
random.
I do this type of content. Or it
Mhm.
can use machine learning to say, okay, in all of his titles, he uses these things. So we'll reference those things in search. Right. I can't put One Piece reactions and brings up all the channels that people do One Piece reactions to.
Yes, sir. That makes sense.
So, and I think a lot of that may due to the fact that there's really no VOD on Twitch. Like you have like what 2 weeks that a video will live there or 30 days or whatever. But
Yep.
besides that, it's not really built to hold content. So tagging doesn't really work on individual videos in perpetuity. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
well, we need to find a way to tag the channel so people can be like, okay, these are things I want to look for. I want to look for One Piece videos. Okay, these people do One Piece content. Oh, cool. Let me follow these people so when they go live, I can check out what kind of content that they watch. To me, that's the thing that's hurting Twitch the most is its searchability. Like it's
Agree.
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I agree, brother. In order to grow on Twitch, you have to have another platform, no matter what, whether it be Instagram, you know, whatever the case may be. But that stems back to the question that you asked me, like, do I think Twitch is going to be that long-lasting thing? You say 2 years, and then due to what my conclusion was to your statement was it needs to have competition, and I YouTube and maybe in 2 years will be that competition. Will anything else be? Hell no. Nothing is like unless it has like a solidified platform like YouTube, which YouTube's growing as a solidified platform when it comes to streaming. It is. It's pulling, you know, what does that have? Doctor Disrespect, Valkyrie, you know, a lot of big streamers, right? But it can just turn into another. I mean, 'cause, Twitch by itself, it has its top dogs that stream that right when they go live 20 30,000 viewers, right, every single time, and that's what they marginalize towards. Like that's what they like, that's what they're bringing in the big bucks. That's those Twitch primes are going to them, you know.
Right, for sure.
I agree, brother. When I was starting out doing Valorant, like I was only getting like 10 viewers. Like, you know, obviously that was like, yo, I'm getting 10 viewers. That's tight. And
Right.
then I was just like, I want to do more. I want to be able to do more. Started doing live reactions. I saw it 80% increase in my viewership when I started doing live reactions. Literally just telling people on YouTube every single video, like, go to follow Twitch if you guys want to see this live. Boom. Yeah, just making videos on Twitch, doing it live there, then posting those the next day on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
back and forth, just like feeding it, trafficking it. And now it's just like, you know, every day I wake up, I'll gain like 5 followers on Twitch. And then, you know, overnight, because those videos are trafficking over them, because someone in another country, it's like 10 a.m. for them, and they'll see my video be uploaded and they're like, oh, okay, let me click on this. Oh, Twitch, blah, blah, blah. You know, you
Right.
need traffic. Twitch sucks in relation to what you said. It sucks ass. You unless you get lucky. And that's the thing too. Like I worked my ass off to be where I am right now, but like I'm not happy where I am. I am happy, but I want more.
Yeah,
But
for
the
sure.
thing is, in order to blow up, it's either your YouTube's gonna have to blow up, or someone big on Twitch is gonna have to raid your ass, and
Right.
that's what you have to cross your fingers that they going to raid some random person, which they don't usually do anymore. They usually just send traffic to their other like companions that they know
Right.
personally, and then so you just have to play the waiting game and cross your fingers, and like you know,
Right.
you go from this 100 100 viewer Andy to a 1K Andy to a 5K Andy, like that. You just pray that one day, like someone just blesses your stream.
Right.
Which is good. Like I said, you're gonna be that 1 in a million because everyone and their mom has a PS4. They can push PS4 share and then just live stream, and you're just gonna be traffic, just traffic, bro. There's too much traffic on Twitch, and there's not enough searchability. I totally agree.
Yeah. I think outside of that, it's and I think that's something that TikTok has. TikTok is a very similar situation where Instagram was like, oh, okay, we'll add that as a feature because we think it's a feature. The challenge now, this is going to be the interesting thing, is TikTok is fantastic at discoverability.
Yep.
It's incredible.
It's like crazy. It's crazy.
And, bro, it's so wild. And the thing was for me is people are like, oh, well, you know, how do you blow up on TikTok? It's like, yo, TikTok is like the easiest platform to grow.
Just upload.
Bro, it's the easiest. I was like, it's the easiest to get viral. It's I was on there for 2 months. I went from 0 to 19,000 in 2 months of just doing different types of content that was focused around gaming and also like whatever trends were popping that I think I could incorporate my stuff into. Because if a trend is going, that trend just cycles through more. People can click the song and see other videos that are like it utilizes search so well in a way where you don't need to use a search bar. You just go through your For You page. Oh, this is dope. Let me click the music. And you see everybody's posts to that song. I was like, this is genius. Like, and obviously it's Musically and they just got bought out by TikTok. But
yeah.
But still, like it's actually really crazy on how they said, okay, we're going to partner with music companies. We're going to partner with other artists and, you know, find ways to do stuff without getting copyright claimed. There's some really interesting stuff that they're doing to where they have a real solid place right now in the marketplace with themselves being its own feature, but it's a standalone platform where people can find people relatively easy. So, and obviously you can go live on TikTok. You can do lives on there. Yeah. You can do, I mean, so it's a really strange, I think, experiment on could this one-off feature type app stand the test of time?
Going back to like the traffic stuff, like with TikTok, like I learned something new. This guy, let's talk he was opening up Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm.
He was his phone camera, he was right here, right. And he was on TikTok live, and he had one pack, and he had scissors up to that pack, and he was like, "I need you guys." He had like 3,000 people watching him on TikTok, and he's like, "I need you guys to go over to Twitch and go vote on this poll to whether or not I'm gonna open this pack normally, or I'm going to cut it in half and then open it." And then you go over to his Twitch. You know, obviously it's the same angle, but actually his camera overlays, bare lighting, yada yada. And he just is holding the scissors there, and then the pole's right there. He has like 600 people watching him. I'm just like, this is fucking genius. Yeah, like, I don't know what you did when you woke up, but you woke up a genius. And he just you go on TikTok, just follow. You go to Twitch every 10 seconds, new follower. I'm like you ate breakfast, brother.
Yeah.
So, that's. He came up with something. I don't know where he got it from, but it was just he's grabbing onto that shtick and never letting go of it because you gotta milk it till it's over. And yeah, man, I agree. That's fire. And if TikTok, or not, if Twitch doesn't do something, don't get me wrong, you're still gonna be watching the big dogs, Ludwig, whatever, anybody that's just streaming and
shout out to them, man.
Are never
Respect
gonna go away
for sure.
Yeah, raid me, but yeah.
Facts. Hey, how about that raid though? I think that's the thing too that I want to make sure that people don't get, like, this isn't me hating on people building their shit. I respect that all day. The biggest thing for me is for somebody that wants content like that there's no easy way of finding other creators. In the same way that certain music platforms, like streaming platforms, when they first came out, Pandora, all these, like, it was cool, but the sauce really came into when you could get recommended good music. How do you find new music better? And that's where Spotify really started to hit. Like, oh, this is dope. SoundCloud. While SoundCloud is a dope music platform, search is terrible on SoundCloud. It's garbage.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I find new music on SoundCloud without trying to go down this crazy rabbit hole and I don't know how to get back? Like, SoundCloud's terrible with search. So I think
I never used SoundCloud, so
bro, SoundCloud has some really dope like underground type of music that just hasn't really popped mainstream wise, or maybe this isn't popping proper on another streaming platform. You can find some really dope stuff on SoundCloud, but you have to go through a crazy rabbit hole, bro, to find it. Like it's terrible.
It sucks that you just gotta pray. You gotta pray that you're like, if you're doing content creation or anything, you just gotta pray that your stuff just gets in the algorithm somehow. Like it just gets pushed in there by accident.
Right.
You know, like no matter, you can do your tags correctly. You can do everything properly. You can copy and paste someone else's tags and
Facts.
just, modify them a little bit, upload it, and then it could just be the times you uploaded it. He uploaded it a day and 10 minutes before you did, and then boom. And that in the regards to like let's say anime reactions, it matters whether you upload the same day that the anime comes out or a day later. Like,
100%.
I learned that firsthand. I work a day job. I come home at night. I stream. I have to edit those videos, upload it the next day, and I lose that 100%. Algorithm because obviously I have a day job. Don't get me wrong. When those new animes come out next or winter, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, whatever is coming out, like I'm taking a whole month. I'm literally going to just grind and just 8 a.m. it comes out. I'm up at 8 a.m. I'm gonna be watching it. Get it out, get my face making a surprise face and that YouTube algorithm thumbnail right when they click on whatever anime they want to. Oh, what's that guy? He's watching that show. I need like that's the best. That's the best way you can do it. So, yeah, traffic sucks. Twitch sucks. Twitch, you suck. I'm just kidding. But Twitch's searchability does suck. I mean, I will agree with that. 100%.
The best part about Twitch to me is how they integrate stuff in the chat, like. To get the chat, that's the best part of Twitch by far. Like that's like over any other platform, its ability to engage the audience in the stream is with plugins and all the things you can add it. Like it is worlds ahead of Facebook, YouTube, you name the platform. It's worlds ahead of it. And I think that's been there right now. That's the thing that's separating them from a YouTube, from, like, anytime I think about doing lives on YouTube and I'm like, oh, I want to bring over this thing that I have over on the Cyberhype over on here, but that plugin isn't available. Or, there's certain things that just aren't available for the YouTube stream. And you're just kind of like, damn, like I really wish that was available for YouTube. So, they definitely have a leg up over there on that.
I'm still learning stuff about YouTube every single day. Like in my head I still believe streaming on YouTube hurts your channel more than anything else. Because there's been more videos people saying like if you stream on YouTube and you upload frequently, you're shooting yourself in the foot by doing that because of I forgot what the reason was, but it's not good for the algorithm. I've watched a whole like hour-long thing about algorithm and this YouTuber talking about it, and just if you post long videos and they're all doing well, and you post a short video and it does horrible, then YouTube's gonna be like, no more recommendations for you. So in my head, a streaming thing, right? Unless you delete the VOD immediately, even though I still don't think that still works. YouTube's crazy, and YouTube's its own beast in regards to what it is, and I feel like, don't get me wrong, Twitch sucks when it comes to like you trying to grow, but YouTube sucks as well. And
YouTube has some crazy issues for sure. My God, we were talking about that off camera.
I can't. I learned that I had to switch my uploading schedule because I was posting at 5 p.m. and I wanted to see what it would be like if I posted at 6 a.m. my time, and it doubled my view count. Just because I just upload in the morning, let it sit through the whole day and let people watch it instead of me uploading at 5 p.m. when people are coming home from work and it's missing like a good amount of traffic, There's like, but sometimes that just works for me. It could work for somebody else because of their time zone,
Right.
Man, you have to figure it out on your own though. Like no one's gonna fucking help you. Like you gotta figure all this shit out on your own. Like I have to sit there and just be like, what is wrong? What is happening? Why isn't this thing doing better than the other? And you just gotta go through the whole marathon in your own head, and it sucks.
Yeah, I think that was the thing too. Is with me on YouTube, this second half of this year, I'm gunning for 200K, but I've done everything on this channel with no strategy. I've had zero. I just was like, all right. When I first started, I did tech content. That's what I was doing on my channel, was tech. My channel was actually called Absolutely Tech before I switched it to Absolutely Geekd. So it was called Absolutely Tech.
Okay.
Which is why it's Absolutely. It was app. So anyways, so I was doing tech content, and then when I started doing reactions to stuff, I think the first reaction I did may have been Death Battle's Goku versus Superman trailer they did, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a reaction. I think that was maybe one of the early reactions I did, and it popped, and I was like, oh damn, okay. And then I did like the Force Awakens trailer when that first dropped, and so that was the first video that I did that went kind of like baby viral. I was like, oh, what? Like I woke up the next morning and it had like 100-some thousand views, and I was like, what is going on? And I didn't even have 1,000 subscribers at the time, so I was like,
yeah,
this is crazy. But in that process, it was like, all right, I was just doing a video a week. That's all I was focused on. And it started to just build. That was my only strategy, was doing that. And then I started doing more anime content, and then it just kind of suppressed the tech content. So I started doing tech content still, but they wouldn't get any views. In my previous, before I was doing anime stuff, my tech content would get 30,000, 40,000 views, no problem. Like I'd upload a video and it's boom. But as I started doing anime stuff, the tech content just started to slowly just not perform. And I was like, okay. So, and again, I'm not blaming the algorithm. I'm just, all right, cool. This is just what the system is. I got to play in whatever rules are here. I just need to know what the rules are and play within those rules. Fine. But now it's like, all right, well, if you're going off of luck and, putting content out, make sure your content is quality enough, over a period of time, you'll build, cool. But there was really no strategy involved of like, okay, how do I execute this in a way where I can get the best viewer time, or know when the best time is for your viewers and all. So like this past 6 months, it's just been studying like hardcore on like what works on the platform, what isn't working, what are the new trends on the platform, like really trying to understand that side of it. So I can then strategize on executing, like, okay, how am I going to deliver certain content? Who do I need to bring on board for editors? Like, really try to make it structured to the fact of being competitive on the platform versus just spinning my wheels.
I feel like it's easier when you just start seeing the growth and you're not worried about like how to do like the testing the algorithm and whatnot. When you like hear you saying you're uploading once a week and whatnot, sometimes it's like, okay, you ride with it, you're getting views, and then I feel like, I don't know, man, when you starting to understand it, it gets harder because then you start seeing like drops and wondering like, oh, what am I doing wrong and blah blah. And then it just starts bugging you. Just like now you got to be a bookworm. Now you got to study on what is the problem. And more or less before you're just like, all right, cool, shit's working. I'm not going to change anything. But when shit starts working, you're like, I'm going to start improving. And then when you start improving, things are going downhill for some reason. Or sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you just start skyrocketing even more. But
right.
it's just a coin flip. And you're just like, fuck, like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. There's definitely luck involved for sure. I think, and that's something that it's crazy to me when people go on like, oh, I saw this thing on, like, I've had friends, that want to start channels. Oh, I'm going to do this course on how to blow up your YouTube channel, blah, blah. And I'm just like, look, it's cap. Like, don't, like, stop it. There's generic things that people can say. Oh, find something you want to be interested in. Okay, cool. There's certain things that you want to do. Cool. Get a okay lighting situation. Don't sit in the dark. Awesome. You don't need a fucking $2,000 camera. You don't. I know people that vlog that have millions of followers that vlog off of a smartphone. I know them personally. That doesn't matter, right? So like there's certain things that they will tell you to do that I'm like, you don't need to do that. But I think the biggest thing when I first started that I would give people advice on that I no longer do is telling them to be consistent. I think that early on, that's a great thing to say when you haven't really built it yet and understanding how the creative process is. right? As a creative person, if I know every week on Wednesday I have to have a video and I haven't found something that I want to do by Wednesday, now I'm trying to force something out that isn't creatively what I want to do. Or if I'm like, oh, I'm just playing with this, but I really don't want to do this content anymore. I kind of want to do this now.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, well, I have to be consistent. It's like it almost forces you to get somewhere, and then you're stuck here. Right? And it's the idea makes sense when it's like, okay, logically, yeah, be consistent. But creatively it doesn't work that way, especially coming from dance and music background for myself. Like, if I have a class I have to teach on Thursday, every Thursday, and I haven't found the song that I want to choreograph to yet, and I'm like, I'm not feeling anything right now. Or if you're a songwriter and you have writer's block, but you have a deliver, like I have to deliver next week this song, I haven't. There's a pressure that sometimes is actually detrimental to your content.
Yep. I agree. I totally agree with you. Consistency is super fucking important. Like,
facts.
If anything on YouTube is consistency. I mean, I hate to bring myself up here, but I've been uploading every single day. In my mind, when I lost my job and I started doing like YouTube and whatnot, I'm like, okay, I chose a day that I wanted to start uploading every day, and I did. And then probably like 6 months down the road, I was like, okay, I have more time on my hand now that my processor and everything, I can render videos out faster. I think I can do 2 videos a day. So for over a year and a half, or year and 3 months or so, 4 months, I've been uploading daily to YouTube, and I haven't missed a day. And is that in my mind, like, I'm tired. I'm mentally tired. Like, after I'm done streaming, like, I have to edit those videos and render those videos out, upload them, yada, yada. Because in my mind, it's just like, I have built into my system that I need to do this.
Right.
And I don't want to stop. I'm physically here, but when, let's say I get off of work, just yesterday, I got off of work. I work at In-N-Out. It's busy as shit. And I came home. I didn't feel like I was tired. Ate dinner, sat down, took a shower, sat in my chair. My eyes, I was fucking drained. And I don't want to turn on these. Like, I can't force myself to talk to these guys with lights, a camera, and everything when I'm just, I was super like tired. Like, I needed to sleep. I don't want to be, but as my body's just like, no, and I can't just put up an act. I'm gonna be like, yo, what's up, Chiefs? Like, they're gonna see it, and I'm frustrated. Like, everything is just frustrating me. I'm getting irritated. So I do agree. Consistency is very important, but your burnout is a real big thing as well. So, and you can't force yourself to be in front of somebody or be in front of people and like bring something to the table that you don't have that day, like, at all. You can't. You're if you're drained, if you don't have it, you gotta just be like, you gotta own it and be like, I don't have it today. I don't have, like, it's hard. It's hard
Facts,
to be
bro.
creatively intact every single day, every single week, every single need to do. You can't. And yeah, man, it sucks.
You know what's crazy? There is a book that I was reading early this year. I read it for like a month straight. It was called Atomic Habits. And in that book, no, Atomic Habits. It wasn't that book. It was The 4 Agreements. If you haven't read that book, 4 Agreements is GOAT. Is GOAT. That book is GOAT. But one of the agreements is one of the chapters is do your best. Now, it sounds in layman's terms, it sounds simple. Oh, just do your best. Let's do it. But the concept is understanding what your best is on that day, because your best is going to change day to day. It's going to change based on your feeling that day, on shit that maybe transpired that day, on your energy level that day. Your best on certain days, your 100% is probably 80%. Yep. And going over that 80% may be way too taxing. It's like, I can't do that today. Like, I know I can't. And I think people get into this idea sometimes of, especially for creators or people that are online doing stuff, putting content out there, is once people see a certain level, people expect that level every time. Right? They're like, oh, I saw this one video, blah, blah. That's the level. He needs to be at that every time. It's like, you do know that that's impossible. Like, that's an impossible task. Like, that actually cannot happen. So, and you can see it in sports. Any athlete, any professional spectacular athlete, they don't play the same every game. You have certain games that they'll be like, oh, this person hit 61 points. Oh shit. The next game is like, oh, I only scored 23. What happened? What happened? He just
You can tell.
what?
You can tell.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, it's not that this person is trash. They didn't have the 61 point game where they were just on. So I think the idea of the consistency, when you put that in there, you're expecting that means I have to deliver this type of content on a weekly or daily or whatever. And it's like there's that pressure, I think, really adds to people's burnout because they're like, damn, like I have to make sure it's at this level at all. It's like, but you're almost putting yourself in an impossible situation, bro. Like you can't really do that.
I'm scared not to upload a video, like to break my tradition, like I'm not if it's uploading every day. Like I've had 3 scenarios in a year and 3 months, 3 scenarios where I was too tired and I've just made a 2-minute video saying like, yo, like I'm dead, but I'm still uploading. I know I'm cheating, but this is, still me uploading, yada yada. Like I can't put into my head like I'm not gonna upload the next day. Like I can't. Like it's embedded into me. And is that healthy? Probably not. Am I gonna stop? Hell no.
But that's the difference though. You weren't focused on trying to make that piece of content that you uploaded just then fucking extraordinary. You're like, all right, cool. I'm going to put something on the board. I'm gonna put a point up, right? You didn't go 0 that day. You're like, look, I'm still gonna put something up. I'm just gonna let you guys know, like, hey man, I ain't got it today, bro. I don't have it right now. But I'm putting this up to let y'all know that, and I'll be back tomorrow. Like I still think that's dope because you didn't just go. If you told yourself this is what I'm gonna do and you did it, like one that goes to your character, right? Like, well, I said I want to do this, I'm gonna knock that out. But still putting the point up, that still matters. You know what I'm saying? Like that's regardless if it's cheating or not. That's still like that was your 100 that day. Like, look, I can't do it.
I can't rely on coffee or caffeine either. I was relying on that shit so much. Like I just feel like after this, probably need a little bit of a cup of coffee because I have a long ass day before I even hopped on here. But I mean, before I was just like coffee every day, coffee every day, coffee every day. I'm just like, now I'm just like I want to steer away from that and just like, can I be awake by myself without having to rely on this? Like. I can. My eyes burn a little bit more, and I feel like I have bags under my eyes a little bit more. Yeah, but I mean, before I was just like, cup of coffee. If I don't have my coffee, ain't gonna be a good day. My chat's gonna be like, hey, you see me agitated. I'm like, don't tell me what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, yo, hold time out. That's funny. So like, because you worked at the airport. You're working at the airport and in and out at the same time.
Yeah, I worked 4 hours in the morning in and out from 10 to 2, and then I would rush home, watch an episode of anime, record it, edit it. Hopefully it doesn't get claimed by 4 p.m. in that 2-hour time span because the render took an hour. And pray to God Sony Vegas doesn't screw up. Okay. And then render it, upload it, and then by 4, I'm out of the house, going to the metro station. So the tram that takes us to the LAX airport takes me there, and get there at 5. Clock in, clock out by like 1 or 2 in the morning. Hopefully, go to the gym if I'm not wasted, tired, and then wake up and do it again. And then that's what I was doing for like 6 months. So, and then when I lost my job, I was like, okay. Now that's out of the way. I can't move out anymore. I was like, okay, now I'm just going to literally full blown. If I want to work 2 jobs for the rest of my life, or do I want to at least try to get something that I think I can achieve, which is obviously partnership on Twitch, which I was aiming for. That was like a godsend that I wanted. But
congrats,
I
just
grinded
That's
for
awesome.
all that time. I was like, I will. Thank you, homie. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I mean. Like I said, if any of you guys want to do that too, literally consistency, just be consistent. don't just upload whatever you like. Upload what you like, but just don't upload like, you know, some bullshit. You just like, oh, with my phone, like, you know, put some thought and process into it. But if you want something, like that's another thing. If you want something, you can get it. I know that's like the most layman's term like stick of a thing. Like if you really want something, envision it with every piece of fiber in your being, and you can get it. And that's what I did too. I was just like, I want this more than anybody that I know, and like I want it so badly. And when I got it, I bawled. Like I cried hard because it was a whole 6 months of me just like I
Right.
got rejected 4 times. Four
Right.
times. Like I didn't know why. Like I was just like, what's wrong? Viewership wasn't consistent. Second one, viewership wasn't consistent. Third one,
Yep.
I think viewership wasn't consistent. Fourth one, I was deleting my VODs. And that was one of the reasons. The fourth one, I was like, I was over, you know, I was getting over average viewership, yada yada. And that was the reason they gave me. And if you guys don't know, when you apply for partnered on Twitch, you apply, you have to wait for them to get back to you. And then once they
Mm-hmm.
say no, you have to wait another 2 to 3 weeks in order for them, or 2 weeks, I should say, 14 business days, 3 weeks, if anything, to reapply.
Facts.
So it was just every time I was just like, what's wrong? And when I would open up my email, I was at my morning job at the In-N-Out, I opened up my email, my break, and I saw no reply twitch.tv. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
just gonna be another like, oh, you
Right.
didn't get it. And then that fucking application popped up. I literally like I couldn't bear it, and it was the most overwhelming thing in the world. Did it anything change in that moment? No. Did I never have to restart my stream over and over again to get that quality of change? No. That was the one thing I wanted. That's the
Right.
main thing I wanted partnership for. That's it. That one simple thing. Because if I'm holding, let's say, like watching Black Clover, whatever, 100 viewers, right? And then my stream crashes and I restart, it'll drop. And
Mm-hmm.
then obviously it'll be at 720p stagnant. And then I'm
Facts.
just like, my stream's ruined at this point. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
having such a great time. My OBS decides to crash. And then it just gave me so much anxiety. And
Right.
now I don't have that anxiety anymore. And I'm blessed to have it. But that should not be a thing on Twitch, by the way. That fucking bitrate shit is just the stupidest thing. The
Bro.
quality of change thing is the stupidest thing. YouTube has it. Everywhere should have it. You should not be having to be partnered on Twitch in order for you to watch it at 160p quality or 1080p
Facts.
quality. Like that should just not be a thing at all, because
Yeah.
like I said, foreign countries, they can't handle it, bruh. Do you think they
Right.
got Spectrum out there? Hell no. I know Australia doesn't have that great of internet connections, right? Or
Bro.
am I shooting the
Oh
shit right
my.
there?
Australia's internet on average is trash. Like,
It,
luckily, I'm in an area where they have something called
yeah.
NBN, and it's a fiber network, but even its fiber network is capped at 100 megabits down.
Oh.
And it's like 100 megabits down,
Ah.
and I think
Got
like
the fiber, by the way.
50 up. Well, here's the thing: the fiber here, you can get business stuff out of business with up to 1,000, but
Uh.
for residential, they cap it at 100. They cap it. They're
Uh.
like, no, 100 is all you get. And I was like, bruh, this is trash.
That's all you
So
need. We decide
yeah,
what you need.
exactly. Here you go. So I mean, it is what it is, and it'll get better. But I think right now, because for what I do, it works. It works for what I do. I'm in an area where there's not a ton of people that use the bandwidth like I use, so I'm good. But anywhere I want to end up moving, because I end up the apartment that I'm in, I sold earlier this year, but I am renting from the person that I bought it from. Because of COVID and all this stuff, a lot of people are moving to where I live now. They're like, oh, well, I'm just gonna go to the Gold Coast because it's cheaper up here. And people are like, it's like vacation space. People are like, you know what? I'm just moving there. So rentals
Yeah.
or other places to move, there's like no rental properties. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just rent from the person that bought my place. So I just like, look, I'm just gonna stay here and rent it from you. He's like, all right, cool. So I looked out there, but I have to rent or buy in a place that has NBN, because if I don't, then what I can do online, it's terrible. So yeah, internet here is
Because
definitely
when I
a
moved
challenge.
into this apartment, obviously I know Spectrum was like, I had 400 down and about 20 up.
Right,
Great, that's all I need for what I need to do. Streaming on Twitch, you only need about 5 to 6K, or
right,
5 6 upload speed, yada yada. But then I had an option to go to business line if I wanted to. That's an extra like $100.
mm-hmm.
Obviously 1,000 up and 1,000 down. I mean,
Right.
I'll do anything for 1,000 up, 1,000 down. But I didn't
Right.
do that because obviously, no, I don't know. At the end of the day, Twitch, YouTube, all this is just it's situational.
Right.
Your income on it or whatever just depends on how much love people want to show you and or how
Facts.
much support they want to show you. And I
Facts.
was just like, maybe in like a year I'll see where I am and then see if I want to get that business line, because imagine uploading a 15-minute video and it takes only 10 seconds. I'll go to
Bruh.
like, because that
Yep.
uploading thing is just like you uploading, you're just praying like, and when that post processing happens, that 95%, like, and then no. When that checking shit happens, when checking to see if your video is
Oh
good,
yes.
like you're just
Oh
crossing
yeah.
your fingers, just like,
Yep.
please, bro, please check, please, just let's say none right
Facts.
now, and then boom, you get an email from Google saying, yo, you got claimed. I'm like, that's
So,
tight, bro. All right, now I have to go redo this whole thing again.
question. So, because you said you utilize Sony Vegas for your like your NLE that you use for video editing. So, in that, like when you
Yes,
render,
Sony Vegas 16.
what do you render to? Like, what kind of file type do you render to?
Believe it's MP4 if I remember correctly. I think it's MP4.
Okay.
It has to be. I mean, the file sizes are fucking huge, so it's most likely MP4. Nah, actually not that bad, but yeah, they're most likely MP4.
If you have the option on that, I'm not sure if you do on that because I don't use Sony Vegas, but if there's an H.265 option, render to that. It depending on your processor.
Render out.
So what it does, a lot of MP4s are H.264, and then MP4 is just the wrapper on it. H.265 is the same quality, but it's half the file size. But it takes a lot of performance.
Write that down. Give me a sec.
Yep, it takes a lot. It may be under HVEC, as the codec name.
HVEC.
Yep. And it's H.265 is the actual code. So if you have that option, it may take a little bit longer to render depending on your computer, but the upload time is so much faster because the file is a lot smaller.
Okay.
And YouTube playback is so much smoother. Anytime
really?
Yeah, for sure. So that's what I usually render to. I use DaVinci Resolve to edit. So in that, I have those options to do that. H.265, render it out. And then from there, the upload is like, if it's like a 20-minute, 30-minute video, that upload is like 2 minutes. And my upload time my internet speed is not popping here. So.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, H.265 is it.
The reason so HVEC H.265.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the reason I threw an i9 in this computer, like I have a good processor and 32 gigs of RAM. Like that's what I wanted when I'm editing videos, because our render time before was like 45 minutes for like a 10 to 15 minute video. Now it's like it matches the time. Let's say 15, 16 minutes. It gets like 4 minutes above that. So it's about 20-minute renders. While that's happening, while that's rendering, I go to the other video and edit that one out. And I'm able to do that now because of the processor. The temps are all good. Everything. I can probably do 3 at a time. I'm not going to push it, but I can probably do 3 at a time. But when I upload, that's like the Hail Mary, because obviously, and at the end of the day, like when it says claimed, I'm going to have to go back, clip out the part, re-render, and upload it, and then wait for another 20 minutes to upload. So if you're telling me that upload time is faster,
yeah,
sheesh, I'm going to go look that thing up right now.
Faster, bro. It's way faster. And then
you said playback is...
because playback? So when people actually view it on YouTube, because the file is lighter and it's built to do well online, so the playback is clean. Yeah. So the challenge with it is when it comes to processing on a computer, certain Intel processors deal with it really well. But H.265, the render is it's a little. Depending on the processor, could be a little taxing. So I'm not 100% sure what the i9's performance is on it, because I don't use an i9 machine, so I don't really know what that's like. But I would imagine if Intel QuickSync is inside of that i9, which I believe it is, you should be pretty solid on the render. So try it out. Try it out. Let me know if it works well. Just do a test. If you have like a previous,
test right after this.
yeah, if you have a
test, the previous video I just did, I know. Yep. I
just see
wait.
how it works.
I cross my fingers. I hope they have the option. Maybe it's not. Hopefully, it's just not like what you said, DaVinci.
No. It's definitely something that a lot of NLEs will have. I don't use Sony Vegas, so I'm not sure if that option is there. But I know Final Cut has it. I know Premiere has it. I know DaVinci has it. Media Composer has it. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I'll definitely look that up.
Yeah, that's I know that part, and I think people don't see that part of our workflow, right? The edit, upload, check, damn it, go back, cut what you need to cut out, re-export, upload, check, damn it, cut. Like they don't see the trial of that at all. So I understand.
You're explaining my nights, bro. I don't want you to explain my nights to people.
Bro,
it's fuck, bro. That's
yeah. You're like, all right, cool. I'm good.
Ass.
And then you're like, damn it, God, I gotta go back and do this again,
bro. And it's like checking. It's just checking. It's checking. And it's checking. Then boom, claimed. I'm like, you bastard. For what? 10 seconds. I left it on for like 5 more seconds than I should have. I should have zoomed in my face to not show the anime a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yada yada. And I do exactly just that. Go back and just cut it up a little, like 5 more seconds, and then zoom in my face when I talk at this moment. Boom, it's all better. Bro. I don't get claimed for audio anymore. It's always just visuals now. Even though I do the whole like flip thing, it still catches it. Like, what do you want me to do, bro?
Yeah. I really, and here's the thing, like the content ID is who was I talking to this about? I think I was talking to Geekdom about this. And we were talking about because you have people that have the content through their content ID on YouTube. So let's say Toei has their library of One Piece videos through content ID on YouTube. So YouTube is saying, okay, we found this. It scans the video and says, oh, this looks like this episode from One Piece, right? So 9 times out of 10, it's usually not the actual company going after your video. It's just, oh, in our catalog of content, we realize that this is tied to this. So we're just saying, oh, this is actually Toei Animation's content, right? But then you have the fuckery of people creating fake Toei accounts and claiming your content. And that's a whole other thing that is super annoying. And it's almost like this dice roll because there's certain people that can create without a flip, without audio adjustments, and they never get copyright claimed. Ever. And you're just like, how is this possible? Like how is this possible? But it's I don't know if it's a luck draw or
into the choir.
Bro, it's wild.
We're preaching to the fucking choir, bro. Every time I see like someone just like the same stuff I got claimed for, I'm watching their video, I'm like, I can hear the audio.
Yeah.
I can see what you're watching very clearly, and you're not cutting shit.
At all.
And you're just gonna upload it like that.
At all.
It's not gonna get blocked in all countries, no?
At all.
Just like, suck me, like I'm about to choke somebody, bro.
Bro,
like, I always tell my people this. I gotta jump through hoops, and people just gotta walk down the road. Like, bro. I don't know what I gotta do, brother. Like, I'm preaching to you too because you do the same shit.
It's wild though. It's wild, bro. I'm just kind of like, okay. And some people are like, well, why don't you tell them, like, I was like, look, first of all, I'm not gonna hurt nobody else's back. If they get in that, I'm not gonna be like, hey, yo, you two, why aren't you blocking such and such? Blah, like, I'm not about that. Yo, you got through the gate, cool, bro. Do your thing, make your bag. I'm all for it. I'm just trying to figure out why, like, that's why I don't do One Piece reactions. Anytime I did a reaction to One Piece, it got claimed. Anytime. No matter what I did, it got claimed. And I was just like, okay, I'm just not going to react to One Piece. I'm just going to watch it for myself. I'm all good.
Interesting.
I'm all good. I have a question for you, though. So with content, are there certain things you're like, you know what? Like, I just want to watch this. I don't want to react to it. I just want to watch it. Or do you have any of those, or do you usually react to everything that you watch?
I like I said, I watch 2 episodes of anime every single day because of YouTube. I edit those videos right after I'm done watching them. I watch myself watch the anime back while I'm editing.
For sure.
I'm tired of watching anime, if I do say so myself. Like, I don't need to watch any more anime off of screen
Right.
than I do with the lady. Yeah, I'll watch some, like, if
Right.
she's watching something, like, yeah, I'll watch it, whatever.
Right.
But no, like, everything, if something big's coming out, whatever,
Hmm.
anything to grow the channel, anything, I'm going to watch it on YouTube with everybody else.
Nice.
And that's because it's just like I'm embodied and it's in my system now.
Right.
If it doesn't do well on YouTube, yeah, fuck it. It's going on the TV. I'm watching it there. My feet are up on the couch. But nah, like I just conditioned myself to be like, if it's something new comes out, you know damn right I'm watching it with chat. And that's it.
Right. That's fair. Yeah. Do you watch anything other than anime? Like outside of anime? Like what other type of shows do you watch?
A lot of YouTube.
Oh,
Like
you
a lot.
so you're
Mostly
from more.
just
Okay, got it. Mostly YouTube content.
yeah. I don't Yeah, I just watched the first episode of, like, I don't know, Loki yesterday. And
Ooh.
that was just because I was editing. The lady had it on, and I turned
Mm-hmm.
around because I couldn't stop. Like, it was behind me because you can see the
Right.
TV, bro. Like, this is
Oh yeah.
on.
Oh yeah.
And it was cool, bro. It was great. But am I going to stop what I'm doing? And because I don't have a lot of time out during the day. Like,
Right.
everything I do is mainly just me in front of this computer or me
Mm-hmm.
flipping burgers at work. Like, there's
Right.
no in between that.
Mm-hmm.
Except on my days off, I guess.
Right.
I'm starting to incorporate more Patreon content too, and that's already taking out more days. Like, on my days off, lady was getting mad at me because, like, I'm not streaming, but I'm watching an episode of anime that I'm gonna post on Patreon, and she's just like, it's just like there's not enough time in the day. If there was just two
Facts.
more hours in the day, oh my god, bro, I would be milking that.
Right.
I struggle to go to the gym because I have to get things done. Like, I have to micromanage my time so heavily, and it's tiring.
Oh yeah. You know
But
what's
just
crazy?
to relapse about
Yeah. Go ahead.
uh no, go for it. You were just saying that I want to
The
know what's crazy.
your workload is exactly what my workload was when I was living in LA. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
The exact same. I mean, I was working one job, but I would do my 8 hours at Apple, and then I would spend literally about 12 hours just on YouTube stuff, whether it be watching how to shoot
Yeah.
stuff, watching how to, because I was doing tech content early on, so I'm trying to learn how to light scenes, certain things on the camera and shoot stuff and testing editing stuff out because I wasn't an editor. So I would spend like 12 hours outside of my 8 hour job just on YouTube stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I would sleep for 4 hours and then I'd wake up the
Yeah.
next day and do the same shit again for at least a year and a half.
I'm tired, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I know. As soon as you were
Yeah,
saying this, like, bro, I was like, but to your point, that was the grind. You're like, yo, I know I got to build it. This is what I got to do. And it is what it is, And I think that's something that me and you definitely have that same, like, I got to get it.
I want to work hard now, as hard as I possibly can. I know it's like I'm sacrificing a lot, but I want to work hard now so I don't have to work hard later. I want to earn
Facts.
enough money so I can hire an editor. I
Right.
want to I want to do a lot of things in my free time that, if I didn't have to edit and render and all that bullshit,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
have 6 hours or, like, a lot of time
Easy.
on my hands. I would
Facts.
love to stream during the day. I would love to stream during the day.
Oh, like
not
a
at
normal
6:30
person.
after work.
Like a normal
Yeah,
person.
I want to stream, like, not at the horrific times that I do. Not horrific, but like 6:30 to 9:30 at night, right? That's not the best time for a lot of people. I'm missing a lot of big demographic because a lot of people are asleep at that time.
Right.
I'm on the West Coast, so I live on the back ends of the world that no one, like, I'm in the past basically for a lot of people in time zone retrospect.
Right.
So I would love to stream during the day for 7-8 hours and not have to go to my job, yada yada. So I'm working hard now, so I don't have to work hard later. And whenever later is, whenever that comes, it'll come, hopefully, please. But I mean, I'm good now. I feel tired, but I'll eventually feel it harder probably later on. I'm 25. I can't do as much as I used to be able to, but I mean, time is of the essence, and I don't have a lot of it. I do, but at the day wise, I don't. But you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's something that, just hearing like what you're doing, your work ethic mimics mine a lot when I first started. Like as far as like, all right, I just got to do what I need to get done. I have to do it. Oh, it is what it is. Like I got to knock it out. So I think in that aspect,
Yep.
it's And your philosophy on that as well is the same as mine. All right, cool. I'm just going to knock this out, spend this time now. So later I can just be like, all right, cool. I can take a little step back, start handing responsibilities off to the channel to other people and build other stuff. And, you know, when I left Apple, I was reluctant. Like I didn't, when I transferred out here to Australia, I didn't need to work at Apple. I didn't need it. I was making enough money to do that on my own, like not be there. But it was just kind of like, you know, that fail safe, whatever, like subconsciously, like, all right, well, I have this job, blah, blah, we're cool. But there's going to get to a point where it's reluctant. When you're at your job and you start to feel like you're wasting time, you're like, damn, like I could be doing X, Y. Like when you're at that point, you're starting to know that you're almost at checkout point of like, all right, I need to remove myself from the scenario. Yeah. Because at a certain point, you're going to start treating the people around you like, bro, like you're wasting my time right now. Like, and you're actually hindering their other coworkers' work experience because you physically have checked out of that workspace now. Like, I don't need to be here. I could be doing other shit for what I really want to be building.
I've worked there for 6 years. I've worked in and out for 6 years. I've been there. That's my first job, and that's where I've been since right out of high school. So
that's a dope first job.
Or a little bit out of high school. Yeah, it was cool. I got on, like a friend got me into it, and after that, I mean, bro, they work well with your hours. I was going to college at the time, and I was just like, they pay well, and I was like, all right, cool. And now just like it's hard to leave. So many of my coworkers have left. So many. Like I'm literally last man standing from so many of like I've made so many friends. They all have left. And just yesterday, like 5 people just transferred to another store. I'm just like, am I the only person here left? Like there's literally like, from when you started, from when I got hired. Yeah. And don't get me wrong. Like it's getting to the point where I'm just like, if I don't feel happy here, which I mean I do, but now that more people are leaving, I can't crack jokes with these new hires. Like I don't know these people. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know these people. I'm not gonna be like, "What's up, Jimmy?" Like I don't care about you, Chief. Like, but yeah, man. Like it just sooner or later, like it's gonna get to the point. Like I obviously, it's still fail safe, 100%.
Right.
Like it pays bills. It insurance, all that, it pays electric, like it gets things where it needs to go, but do I really need it? If I worked harder here, sure, maybe I wouldn't, but I don't know that yet. And I maybe in a year's time, after next anime season or whatever, let's hope. But I'm scared. Like let's get on it. Like I'm scared.
One of the things because people ask me when do you know you should leave and do full time? And I usually tell people this: if there are a couple of things got to be kind of in place just to make it's kind of like either or. Either you have about 6 months of your expenses saved up. Like I got it in a savings account 6 months, and I'm making what I make at my full-time job online. You should be good to go. Just in case if shit dips in the market, you got 6 months of your expenses stacked up anyways. Cool. If something were to go wrong on YouTube or whatever platform you're on, you at least got 6 months of all your expenses in a savings account. Cool. Or you're making double on YouTube or on Twitch or whatever than you're making on your full-time job. If you're making double that, step away. Those are the two scenarios that I usually give people because there's going to get a point where you're going to start making people feel like you're not enjoyable to be around at a certain point because you're like, damn, like I really feel like I don't need to be here, and like some people need to be there, and it's not saying like, oh, the job isn't worth your time, but it's no longer a necessity for you. People only work because they need to. Nobody's like, yo, bro, I want to work. Yeah. Like you work because you need to make money to survive. Like let's just keep it a stack, and you want to work at a place you enjoy. Right. But at a certain point, you're like, if I found something better to work at that pays me more, you're going to do that. You're like, oh, well, shit, I get paid more to do something I enjoy more to do. Mm-hmm. Yes, 100%. So I'm looking forward to the day that you get to that point, bro, that you get to the point of like, all right, cool. I can step back and be like, cool, I'm good. I'm here for 100% of it.
Yeah, and that's anyone's goal at the end of the day, just doing something they like or love at the end of the day. I love my job. I love both my jobs, but one's deteriorating more than the other. And no matter, I even if things start going even better on Twitch or YouTube,
Right.
I mean, that's still an extra income that like I don't know if I could be able to let go. It's still now if it was like full send, like you said, double or triple, like whatever you're making, like fuck yeah, I'm out. Would it feel weird
Yeah.
now waking up every morning going to that place? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard for me to let go of an income once I have it, especially
Hmm.
if it's just like even if I'm overworking myself, it's like I'm like I don't know if I can let go
Right.
because it is. I mean, it goes right into my savings. Goes straight right
Facts.
there.
So like before we wrap, I gotta ask you a question because I think this is something that I've
Yes,
asked
sir.
everybody kind of since I've had this podcast going so far, and the people are gonna ask me to ask you. So let's just knock it out. Top five. What's your top five in the anime, bro? What's your top five, bro?
Top five. I get that. I mean, I get like, what's your favorite anime, Luke? Like, a question all the time. And just like, bro,
Yep.
there's so many genres. Like,
Yep.
they're like, it's like, I'm just gonna say Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach. It's not even to the comparison of that. Don't get me wrong, Naruto still holds weight in my heart, and I can
Hmm.
rewatch these fights. I go on YouTube when it pops up on
For
YouTube,
sure.
just like whoever, just boom, this guy, this I fight cut up to a point where you're just like you're gonna watch the full fight. Like one I've seen 100 times. Spoilers: Sasuke
Hmm.
versus Danzo. Like I've seen
Right.
that shit so many times. I love Danzo. I love that fight.
Hmm.
But just to keep it 100, I don't know, man. I obviously I've seen animes from years back,
Hmm.
and that feeling that I had first time watching it to this point now has deteriorated. So I just watched Jujutsu Kaisen
Hmm.
recently, and I fell in love with that show. And it doesn't
Facts.
mean Vinland Saga 2, the first minute of that show from Vikings fighting it to the intro, that was
Hmm.
just heat. And that
Yeah.
was like the perfect way to grasp your attention
Right.
because it just told you a story in like 1 minute. So, I mean, Jutsu Kaisen, I'm just gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna put that on the list just because I've never seen an
Mm.
anime do something so right in such a short amount, 24 episodes. Nothing felt like it was faltering, and I was just like,
Mm.
no episode felt bad to me. I will be putting Jujutsu Kaisen up there. Maybe second season. Maybe we ever get to talk again like this. That'll
Hmm.
drop maybe when season 2 or a movie comes out. But I
Right.
don't think it will unless it deteriorates. Let's see. So I mean, I'm gonna just throw the softball in there. Naruto.
Okay.
I mean, I would love to say Naruto and Bleach, but I mean, I don't know. Those are just two heavy hitters that I can just keep rewatching fights and stuff over. So,
Dope.
uh, let's see. Let's see. I want to say Vinland, but it's too a little too early. It's still second season, and the heartfelt warmth I felt watching this show has deteriorated.
Mm.
It's hard to say, man. And that's the thing too. Those are big, hard hitting questions. Like,
Right.
what is it? Name it right now. Gun to your mom's head. I'm like, bro, I don't know. Like, I hope that thing's not loaded. I don't know, bro.
Bruh, it's a tough
Um,
one.
DBZ will obviously have a safe space in my heart.
Okay.
Super was whatever. But Z would always have a safe space in my heart. Oh, I want to say an off-ball one. I know there's one that's in my tongue. I'm gonna hate myself when I don't say it, and I'm gonna remember it later on. I'll be like, fuck, like I want to be the special one and say that. I really liked Gurren Lagann as well.
Mm.
Really like that shit. Like Pierce the Heavens, man. That shit was so tight watching it for the first. Kill la Kill 2. Kill la Kill was great. I think I want to say Kill la Kill as well. Kill la Kill
Mm.
did so much with the animation. Like when I first watched it, it was so different. I was like,
Yeah.
Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill probably were matching so different in so many ways. The animation was fire. They knew
Mm.
what they I didn't even know what they were doing, but they did. So
Right.
I think I said more than five, but I think I'll hold
I
myself to
respect that.
those.
I respect that. Kill la Kill was dope. Kill la Kill was it
Kill.
was it fan servicey? Sure, but story was
Oh
dope.
yeah.
Animation was crazy. Yeah, that story was awesome. Kill la Kill's dope. I
Uh,
respect that. I respect that list, bro. That's what's up. So, where can people find you,
show.
bro? Where can people
Yeah.
find you online?
Uh, Very simple. That's the bro on YouTube. It's as easy as it sounds. That's the BRUH as in bruh. If you want to find me on Twitch, underscores, that's underscore the underscore bruh. Twitch doesn't allow spaces. It's weird.
Weird.
But yeah, it's very easy. You just find me anywhere. Just type in that. You can literally just type in the bruh and then type in anime. You'll probably find me on YouTube. But yeah, that's social media is anything TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. You can find me all there. I do anime reactions and I watch anime every single day. So if you guys want to have a conversation about that, go to my comment section and tell me how wrong I am about what I'm watching and how my intake sucks and yours doesn't. Yeah,
Ooh.
that's my.
I respect it, bro. I appreciate you for rocking with me, man. It's I was excited to.
I appreciate you having me on.
Bro, I was like, yo, I need to chat with this dude, bro. Like, I seen your content. I was like, I fuck with this guy, man. Like, I need to chat with him. So I'm excited to see your growth, man. And congrats again on the partner on Twitch. And we gotta do this again, bro. We gotta do this again.
I appreciate it.
But other than that, man, guys,
we can do this again. And
yeah.
I hope if we ever do this again, I hope that I know we talked a lot about like tech and whatnot, and I know most of you guys are like more anime savvy, so maybe we can have, appeal to you guys a little bit more. We can have, who wins in a fight or whatever. But
Ooh.
sorry we got on a little bit of a tangent, but I like to talk about, when we got into the YouTube conversations, it's like, okay, this is like I don't get to have this conversation with a lot of people. So
Facts. Facts, bro. But yeah, man, I'm down to talk about what ifs. Those are super fun to talk about. So next time, let's definitely do that. Let's set that up and possibly. And I want to end up doing this eventually live. So for those that are watching this, when you see things switching, this is all in. I'm practicing stuff so we can end up doing this live. So I want to end up doing this live, but right now we're pre-recording things. But I appreciate you, bro. Real shit. I'm glad that you're growing, and hopefully this can help you out. If you guys aren't subbed to him, make sure you guys sub over there. Check out his anime content. My man's is funny as hell on the live. His live is super sauce. Check that out. And we'll catch you guys on the next podcast, man.